We gather here today to discuss the Lily Vander Woodsen Bass Humphrey and all my irrational beef with her. I may be insane for believing this is absolutely necessary to flip on the grill and roast yet another fictional character, but this is how I choose to use my free will. What are you going to do with yours? Hmm? LVDWBH is a mother, a daughter, a wife, and a friend, but most importantly, she is a villain. If you were fooled by her cuteness and soft spokenness, don't be ashamed or alarmed that she is truly a villain and a menace to society. It's not your fault you were fooled. She is really good at this. Really good. We are first introduced to Lily in the pilot, where her daughter Serena comes home from boarding school and attends a party at the Waldorfs where Lily already is. When she sees her daughter after not seeing her for about a year, she seems happy but not thrilled. And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here because perhaps she's just stressed about Serena saying something about Eric, whose hospitalization she's trying to keep a secret, and that's why she seems so on edge. But I will say, first impression, she did seem kind of cold. Later on, we find out that Lily is secretly seeing Chuck's father, Bart Bass, another absolute menace, but we won't go there. And eventually, she marries him, all while consistently flirting with Rufus. Her entire relationship with Bart seemed very transactional and void of love, but maybe that's just me. And you know what? I'm not just gonna ignore the effort they put into integrating their families and giving the kids more boundaries, but nothing seemed entirely genuine with them. It's so crazy that I'm gonna say this, but I do think Bart cared for Lily, but I don't think Lily cared for him, or honestly, any of her husbands for that matter. Lily also has an obsession with controlling what is said about her or her family in the media. She's constantly orchestrating Kris Jenner level schemes to control public perception. The most notable example, which I already mentioned in a previous video, is when she sends Serena to jail so she can cover up the fact that Serena got everyone scammed. It'll never make sense to me the amount of effort you'd put into that, Lily, but the lack of effort you put into actually being there for your kids. You teach them that reputation is more important than integrity, that the way the world views them is more important than the way they view themselves. This is a sickness, Lily. You saw little Serena around drugs and addicts. You saw her be involved in someone's overdosing, and we saw you have the most surface level conversation with her about it. When Serena and Blair said that they raised each other, not one lie was told. At least Blair had Dorota to always be there for her. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for Serena. Lily literally knew that Chuck slept with Jenny and abandoned her after, all because he thought Blair didn't show up to the Empire State Building when he had fucked her over so many times. Tell me, how is it that you go from being so in love that you're ready to propose to sleeping with someone else that very same night? This is about Lily, though. I digress. Well, maybe Lily didn't know every single detail, but she knew Chuck slept with Jenny for sure. And when Eleanor is trying to figure out exactly what happened, she completely avoids telling her. Why? Because she's a fucking villain.
She never even told me why they broke up.
Do you want to tell her or should I?
Aren't you so excited that our girls will be at Columbia together this year?
What?
Yeah.
She doesn't pay much attention to Serena's suitors, so why should Eleanor know all of the details of Blair's life and the type of men she's involved with? And you know what? There are exceptions when Lily cares about who Serena's dating, but mainly when it'll affect her. She never paid more attention to anyone than she did to Dan, and that was only due to her own feelings towards Rufus. And I suppose she adamantly was against Trip and Serena's union, but I kind of feel like some of that had to do with public image. Mothering is literally the last priority to Lily in most situations, unless she personally has something to gain from it. Now, what I absolutely need to address when it comes to Lily Vander Woodsen Bass Humphrey is the Dr. Vander Woodsen situation. If I were Rufus, the way I would have crashed out, y'all would have to call the cops on me. I'm not saying that's what Rufus should have done, I'm just saying that's what I would have done. Because, well, I have issues. Rufus did the right thing by calmly handling the situation, especially since he was under the impression that Lily was sick. I'm just saying I personally would have crashed out because none of what was going on made sense. Like, somebody's lying here, obviously. Wait, but is it just me, or do both Serena and Lily have really unnecessary secrets from their partners? Like, half the shit they choose to hide from them makes no fucking sense. Like, Serena's reasoning for not telling Nate she was looking for her dad is dumb as fuck, and you can't convince me otherwise. Now, in this situation, the Dr. Vanderwoodson situation, The story being sold to Rufus is that Lily was sick and was being taken care of by her ex-husband, Dr. Vander Woodsen, who told her not to mention anything to her family because their worrying could make her sicker. But then he has this whole scheme to get Lily back, so he writes Serena a letter and makes sure to add in the details that he was alone with her mom, hoping Rufus will see it and crash out. The letter ends up in a string of blackmail because Trip Vanderbilt is a cheater and his wife is a bird. I'll talk about them more in my Serena video, but for now that's all the information you need. So Rufus gets the letter, but once he hears Lily's explanation, he is pretty understanding. Until Dr. Vander Woodsen shows up in town, makes up that Lily's cancer is back, and it's in her best interest that he lives in the building to treat her and spend time with the kids he abandoned almost 2 decades ago. All the medicine he prescribes her from here on out just give her the side effects that she's sick again, but isn't actually doing anything because she isn't actually sick. The whole situation is just sick and illegal. Illegal and sick. Now, here's my problem with Lily. Well, I already mentioned a bunch, but here's another problem I have with Lily. She's only wise when she feels like it, and I feel like she was really enjoying having this clown around. She hardly ever stood up for Rufus while her ex repeatedly disrespected him. It was written all over his face that his intentions weren't pure, and she just completely ignored that. This man even orchestrates a sick plan with this woman who lives in the building to make it seem like Rufus cheated on Lily with her. And Lily hardly asks any questions before simply believing her. Almost like she barely even knows Rufus, and this is something she could totally see him doing. Yeah, I would have crashed out. I'm not saying that it was impossible for Rufus to have really cheated, but damn, you didn't even give him a chance to defend himself. It almost felt like Lily wanted this to be true so she could have a legit excuse to go back to her ex. Just go back to him, girl. You don't gotta do this. Funny how the night William Vanderwoodson is about to be exposed, she literally is about to fly to Palm Beach with him and her kids. Excuse me? Yeah, y'all definitely smashed because why the fuck would you do that? And the selective amnesia Serena chooses to have about her father completely avoiding her for nearly 2 decades, and she's so willing to see Rufus, who has been nothing but kind to her, treated like shit, is so fucked up. And just classic Serena flip-floppy, hot, cold, ditzy, dumb bitch behavior, but I digress. Like mother, like daughter, I guess. The way Rufus just takes Lily back with very little resistance after this is not surprising to me because Rufus has proven this lady is his kryptonite way too many times. This situation had me side-eyeing Lily the most out of every other situation in Gossip Girl. I low-key felt like it was cruel, and her and Serena were low-key cold as fuck to the Humphreys. And honestly, I'm still in the middle of rewatching Gossip Girl, so I might have to take that back and come back with a part two, but we'll see. It truly felt like she married Rufus as like a last resort thing. It never worked out with the rich men, and Rufus being down to earth and not coming from wealth gave him this appeal that she was drawn to. I think Lily seeks control. And though Rufus has boundaries and definitely had his diva moments, she knows she can get one over on him easier than her past husbands, and I don't think she always uses this knowledge for good. But that's just my theory on Lily Vander Woodsen Bass Humphrey. Yeah, I know saying all her names was a little OD, but I didn't even say all her names. She was married way more times before that. I want to hear what you guys think about all of this. Please leave me a comment and be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, obviously, if you feel like it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.